Last time, while trying to stop bad guys who stole Lex Luthor's new exo-robot weapon thing, they fired a missile that wound up hitting an airplane. So it looks like Superman is going to need to help. Thanks for helping. Well, maybe the nose of the plane will be stronger. He gets to the front and tries that, and while it is a rough trip, gonna undermine his look when he flies away from this with a bird's nest on his head. Eventually, he's able to slow it enough so the only possible casualty might be a mime. So win-win there. Superman's departure is caught on amateur video, and the S on his chest prompts Lois to dub him the Superman. And Perry says, "Good name, all it needs is an interview to go with it." But Clark's not so sure about that, so he heads back to Smallville to talk with his parents about his extracurricular activities.
Suddenly people are calling me Superman. They want to know everything about me. Some are even afraid of me. Just like Jor-El and Lara warned. Does this mean I'm going to have to give up my life?
I have to admit, even knowing that Superman is just Clark Kent with a costume on, over the years it always seemed like Clark's daily life was just something that he did on the side. It never really occurred to me that Clark Kent actually wanted to be a successful journalist. I mean, once you've flown back in time and defeated a self-aware computer, does getting your 600 words in really seem so important to you? But his mother thinks that at least telling the public a little about himself to explain why Superman does what he does might help. Avoid winding up with a reputation like Batman as being some kind of a nut. Mission accomplished. He tries telling Lois his story, but she can't swallow it all. It's like he's hiding something. Still, she seems to take a shine to the big Boy Scout. But Lex is not impressed, seeing as how Superman let the terrorists get away with his suit. The robot suit, I mean. Obviously, that's not the reason he's in sweatpants right now. Except, Clark notes that if the terrorists have the robot suit, the military is going to want one too, so either way, Lex is going to get money out of this. Lois is impressed with Clark's chutzpah, but he shows her what he found. Photos of Luthor with a Kasnian bigwig. The country is such a pain in the neck that the U.S. has cut off all ties, so selling them an exosuit war machine, that's a big no-no. But take one, well, it's not your fault if you're robbed by a terrorist, right? And they are up to no good, like throwing this guy off the ship.
Fat, blasted scabs taking jobs from us union men. I oughta go back and split some skulls. I oughta. Hey, got a tire iron right here.
He's a very sympathetic character, isn't he? I'm Popeye the Angry Drunk. I'll knock you down with my funk. He's soon grabbed by Lois. Looks like he was her contact while she was watching the docks for that big arms smuggling story. Yep, Bibbo here says the ship has been acting suspiciously, not moving any cargo on or off, so Lois intends to head aboard and check things out, while giving Bibbo money to call up Clark.
Okay. Hey, shoulder. You'll be okay.
Got to admit, with Bibbo, that actually went better than I thought. The special attaché to the region soon steps in while Lois is arguing with the guard.
There's no reason for hostility, especially towards such an attractive visitor.
And he has to be evil. I mean, just listen to that voice. When you work for a third world nation as a henchman, but you have an English accent, that means that you either sold out your country to work for some evil foreign bad guy, or you were sent to an English school as a child, which means that they're going to quote Latin at you while swirling a brandy and unleashing their snow leopards. While having a discussion with Lois, she spots the suit, and yes, Special Attaché pulls an even more special gun out to make clear she's his special guest. Isn't that special? They're soon off to sea with Lois and the suit, but little do they know that Clark noticed the Kasnian ship in one of the photos that Jimmy took for his smuggling story. So Clark's on the way to investigate. And being on the high seas isn't really a problem for a man who can fly. So Soups bursts in, saving Lois's life. I didn't add that sound effect, but I thoroughly endorse it. While Lois helps deal with a guy with a bazooka, Superman is hit by the Kilotron, forcing him to get her off the boat before she gets shot with those, I'm guessing probably 50mm bullets. But it has other tricks too. Key fob, anti-theft deterrent. I wonder if they got the undercoat. Still, Superman will not be deterred, and he keeps at it. Normally, you'd expect him to fight like 3 or 4 of these things at a time and just barely slow him down. But this is a Superman at the start of his career. He needs to get a little bit of a feel for these things. Remember how he accidentally got a commercial airliner shot down? Yeah, you don't want to make that mistake again. Okay, I'll just have him shoot me in the face until he runs out of bullets. Batman's not the only one who can come up with a plan. His actual plan is holding out a cement truck until the fuel tank explodes and then throws that at the bad guy. But while that is a setback, the Kilo suit is able to recover and... Well, to be fair, he's called the Man of Steel, not the Man of Whoop-Ass.
This is a pretty hardcore origin story.
But the suit has taken enough of a pounding that Superman is finally able to rally and start dishing out some punishment of his own. And finally he takes it out, carting the hoodlum off to prison. Well, Lex is furious because the Regent is now backing out of their deal on the grounds that the suit was destroyed in Metropolis, so no $1 billion for him. What's worse, he can't even finish his rant about this because Superman swings by for his post-fight confrontation with the master villain. As Luthor explains, he owns Metropolis between his technology and his business empire, so a guy in a onesie isn't going to be able to do much. But Superman just warns him that he's going to be watching Luthor from now on. And as powerful as that might be, in the end, Luthor is just a man. It's lucky that Superman isn't having to face.
Brainiac systems activated.
Alright, I'm going to need to change the old red underwear after that. This is a solid opening for the series. The Krypton material gave us some real insight into Kal-El's parents and the horror of Brainiac's betrayal. The latter two gives us insight into the character of Clark Kent and how that informs his decision to be Superman, without any complexity or philosophy about it. And the Lois Lane we get here is an excellent addition to the show. Sharp, witty, tough, but a bit too ambitious to always play nice. Already she's showing indications of being a complex character. The Smallville period is an important piece of the puzzle, because it places the story squarely on the character of Clark Kent for a significant portion of that episode, allowing the room for more attention to be paid to Lois, Lex, and the villain later on, without Superman feeling marginalized in his own premiere. Superman can then spend more of the time being about action, while not descending into just a cipher of the man. Malcolm McDowell's role as the villain seems a bit odd at first blush, since generally celebrity voices are provided for significant characters, and the bad guy seems like a more or less just forgettable first guy that Superman beats up for the story. Well, later on we're going to see this is a recurring superpowered villain, so this makes more sense. The only negative I see to the story, as I said, the suit does seem like the kind of thing Superman would fight several of at once, and probably only slowing him down. And while this is indeed early days for Superman, that does make the fight seem less of an impressive challenge for him than it should be. But narratively speaking, this does an effective job of launching a new series without shortchanging the cast of characters.